Hey, happy Nintendo Direct Day. Nintendo had their Direct earlier, and I thought it was pretty awesome. It was about 44 minutes, just packed full of stuff. Now, not everything that was announced today was a game per se. A lot of it was DLC content, like waves of DLC for, I think it was Fire Emblem, Splatoon 3. They talked about new tracks for Mario Kart, and they actually have new characters for Mario Kart as well, which is just totally awesome. There was just way too much announced in this Direct to go over in this video, so I'm going to talk about things that I was super excited about, and we'll go more in depth on my podcast, Podtroidvania. I'll leave a link somewhere around here to the YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and click there and watch it if you want. Otherwise, let's get into things that I was super excited about this Direct. And I'll start off with a few honorable mentions, games that I'm not excited about, but games that I've seen other people have been really excited about. So let's start with Samba de Amigo. That's a series that originally, I think, came out in Dreamcast, where I actually had maraca controllers that you had to play with the game with, but this version just uses the Joy-Cons, which is kind of nice. And you kind of like dance with the music. It's almost like Just Dance in a way, but like more specific to shaking maracas, but it looks like it's a lot of fun, and I might actually pick it up and play it. I see that Advance Wars finally got a release date, the reboot camp. I think that it was kind of crazy how it got delayed a bunch of times, and then the war in Ukraine happened, and Nintendo really thought that probably wouldn't be a great idea to release a war game during this time, but they finally announced that there's going to be a April 21st release date. You'll be able to pick it up digitally and physically. It looks like Baten Kaitos is getting re-released on Switch. I've never played this series of games. It's kind of like a JRPG, like card-based. It does look really cool, and I have seen a lot of people were really excited about this, so it's one of my honorable mentions. It's not a game that I'm really excited about playing, but I know that a lot of people are. And the last honorable mention is that Bayonetta game, Cereza and the Lost Demon. I think this art style is just totally awesome, and the game looks really cool. They had a trailer for this Direct, and the new trailer showed a lot of the gameplay, and the fighting is just not at all the same as what's in like any of the Bayonetta games. And you kind of, I guess Bayonetta can't technically fight. You have to use the demon to fight. So basically you target the enemies and then have this demon go after and attack them, and you use the environment and this kind of demon's powers to create like bridges to get around area to area and to fight monsters. It's kind of really neat, and I may not play it, but it is a really exciting game. What's really awesome is that when they started this Direct, they just kind of slammed the doors right open with a Pikmin 4 trailer, showed off a lot of gameplay, and they finally announced a release date, July 21st of this year, which is really great. I remember that the rumored release date was at the end of May, which would have been a really weird decision to release it that close to Tears of the Kingdom, but in July it should give it plenty of time for people to have bought Tears of the Kingdom, played it, and then be ready for Pikmin 4. And now in this trailer, they showed off all the new Pikmin. They have like an ice Pikmin, they have a new puppy. I don't know, it's just kind of like puppy creature that you can have. You can ride it, you can tell it to smash through walls and use it strategically. I think it's really awesome. It's kind of a neat addition to the Pikmin universe, and I think you can only really enhance a game by adding a puppy, really. Sea of Stars finally gets a release date, August 29th. I'm so excited. It's the game I've been just following for years now, and now that it has a final solid release date, I'm going to be pre-ordering it. Can play it right away when it comes out. There's a demo available right now, so I'm going to download it as soon as I can and play it. So excited. We finally got it. Finally. The Metroid Prime Remaster Shadow dropped today from the Nintendo Direct. The digital version's available on the eShop right now. You can download and play the full game. It's only $40, which is really awesome. They really could have charged the full $60 for this game, and I'm sure plenty of people would have bought it, including myself. And the footage they showed off just looks so good. The original GameCube game was actually a really good looking game, but they've smoothed out all the textures, added some HD stuff, probably widescreen support, I can only assume, and it just looks really good. And it's one of the best games to be released on the GameCube, and I'm so excited to be able to play it on my Switch. I still haven't decided if I want to get the digital version right away or wait till the 22nd to get the physical edition. It's such a hard decision because I love to have the physical copy of a game just in case something happens in the future, but to be able to play it right now, I could just download it and play it. I think I might go that route. I'm not really sure. I haven't really decided yet. They did have a trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, and it kind of was a cinematic trailer where it had some kind of more story elements, and everything looks so cool about this game. I'm glad they're not just giving everything away, and they really could just have a full-on 20-minute Direct just for Tears of the Kingdom right before it's released, but I kind of actually hope that they don't, because really give us a lot more mystery in the game, so when we go to play it, we won't have just all the stuff that we already know about it. The last thing on my list that got me really excited, this is the thing that got me the most excited. And you would have thought Metroid Prime Remastered would have been the most exciting thing for me, but no, it was actually the Nintendo Switch Online announcement for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. That was awesome. Game Boy games available right away on a regular Nintendo Switch Online account, and Game Boy Advance games being available on like the expansion pass. And they announced the games that were available right away, and actually, like I said, right away, this is available now, immediately. So if you have Nintendo Switch Online, you can immediately get the Game Boy games. If you have the expansion pass, you can immediately get both the Game Boy games and the Game Boy Advance games right away. And then it did list all the games that are available for both. So they started with the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. They have Tetris, Super Mario Land 2, and the 6 Golden Coins, which is actually my favorite Game Boy game of all time. And they have Link's Awakening DX, Gargoyle's Quest, Game & Watch Gallery 3. And now, Game & Watch Gallery games are just a sleeper hit. I think these are really awesome. I know it's some really basic gameplay, but it's kind of like that mindless fun where you don't really have to pay attention to a story, you just kind of press buttons and do the actions. I think it's just a really great collection. They also announced Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, Metroid 2, Return of Samus, Wario Land 3, and Kirby's Dream Land. Now, all of these games are available in the original Game Boy format, kind of like that weird green screen, in the Game Boy Pocket format, which is almost the same, but it's like a black and white, but it's the background's more like white or kind of lightish gray. And Game Boy Color, so full color support for all those games listed. And they had this kind of little screen. They have done it before for the other consoles where they had a list of games that kind of slides by that says, you know, games that are going to be added in the future. And they had the Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages, the Pokemon trading card game, and Kirby's Tilt and Tumble, which I never played, but those other 3 games, I'm super excited to play. I've actually never played the Oracle's games, so I'm really excited to be able to play those in the future. They also announced the Game Boy Advance games that are going to be available right away, and that list is pretty good too. We have Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Bros. 3, WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games, Kuru Kuru Kurin. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but it's kind of like this weird game where you have this like paddle and you have to rotate it to get it through the different paths without hitting stuff. Seems really interesting. Never played it before, but it looks like a lot of fun. We have Mario Kart Super Circuit, Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga. Now that is an awesome game. I'm so excited for that to be on the list. Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, which is another mobile Zelda game that I haven't played before, and to be able to play this right away is really awesome. And now any of the Game Boy Advance games that had like any kind of multiplayer now have local and online multiplayer, which is really great to see. And this console also had a future games list. It showed Metroid Fusion, one of my favorite Metroid games of all time, Kirby the Amazing Mirror, Fire Emblem, F-Zero, and Golden Sun. And now, don't hate me for saying this, I've never played Golden Sun, and it's a game that I really always wanted to play, but never got the opportunity to. And now that's on this list, I'm so excited to play it in the future. And there was a lot more announced at this Direct. 44 minutes just packed full of stuff, and there was just way too much to go over in this video. So like I said, I just went over the stuff that I was super excited about. If you were excited about anything different, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk about it. I'll be going over this way more in depth in my podcast, Podroidvania. You can go ahead and click here to subscribe to that so you don't miss that video. You can click here to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one.